And this is Dr. Leslie Birkland, and I am here with Mr. Nick Brighter. And today we are doing a series on karma. And so, Nick, the very first question that I think that everybody would have is, what is cause and effect? Because I have read, and we actually talked about being like the great law in karma. So that's the basis of karma. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say that cause and effect could be called that, in that in my opinion, it's probably if you were to take one idea and sort of summarize karma, if you had to, cause and effect would probably be my choice.
Okay. So what is cause and effect? What does it actually mean?
So I have it broken down into 3 parts for today.
Okay, good.
And the first one is being genuine. And it kind of ties into our last episode of intention and the idea that your intention matters. It can take time to learn how to align your intention with your true self, let's say, or your higher self. And to be a genuine person, to be authentic.
To be authentic. I think everyone thinks of themselves as being genuine. Mm-hmm. Even if they're not a nice person, they're genuinely not a nice person. So, but that wouldn't fit into karma, would it?
Oh, I think it probably, I probably would put it in there, but you could, yeah, I think you could put it into karma.
Okay. So, well, you're right. Because I guess being...
I would, an important aspect of being genuine and authentic that I think a lot of people are maybe not aware of, if they've never tried to be 100% authentic or as authentic as they possibly can at all times, is that your life takes significantly less effort.
Oh,
you're not keeping track of tallies. You're not, if you're not keeping track of what you told to who, keeping track of your image, just let all that go and be authentic. And there's numerous benefits, but a side benefit is that it becomes effortless.
I like that. Yeah. I like that, because what I said, really, now that I think about it, it doesn't really kind of apply, because if they truly are like not a nice person, that may not even be the core of who they are. That might be a mask.
But it could take them time to become a nice person.
Right.
They can become one.
And everyone at their core of who they are, I think that everyone, is a decent person, is a good person. Would you agree with that?
I'm in the school of thought that I do agree with that. I'm in the school of thought that I think everyone is a good person if they're to truly become authentic.
Okay. Because with intentions, I really love that aspect of cause and effect, because I see so many people that are always, they're do-gooders. They're constantly doing good and wanting to do good, but they are like, they're tallying. They tally every single thing that they do. It's sort of like they will make a list. I've done all these wonderful things. And then they expect the other person, if it is indeed a person, to reciprocate, to do something equal to them. They decide what the karma is going to be. I don't think that's what karma is all about. So I have a story, if you're willing to listen to my little story.
Yeah,
and it's kind of about intention. At least I think so.
To listening.
Okay. So
I try to be.
It's about pageants. So how can you think, how can a pageant, have any kind of connection with karma? But a lot of gals in pageants have to do so much community service, or there are community service awards and they want to get that award. So they will make a list of volunteering, of all the things in their area where they can volunteer. And every single weekend, especially if they're a really young person, they're competing in younger people pageants. Their parents will set them up. You're going to volunteer here. You're going to volunteer at Habitat for Humanity. You're going to volunteer with the homeless. You're going to volunteer at a soup kitchen. You're going to, I mean, there's so many things that you can, you're going to do a cleanup in your neighborhood. My whole point is that the people that are doing this, they're doing it because they want to get that volunteer award. They are tallying it. And I've noticed that some of the gals or guys will have a laundry list of all these things, and they ultimately will win that award. But their intention behind it is simply to win the award. Their intention isn't because it's something they feel in their heart. But Nick, this is the moral of my story, is that over time, I've observed that after the pageant's over, the awards are not available. They just will continue on doing their volunteer work on their own time without any expectations. So sometimes I think that the intention is it's huge. I mean, it's huge what your intention is, but starting out doing something when your intention isn't good, it can evolve. Do you notice that?
I would, yes, I would say it appears to me, or if I were to see this story with my own eyes, I believe it would appear to me that as if they developed an understanding that they didn't originally have.
Yes.
And because everyone's higher self is I believe is everyone deep down is a good person if they're given the opportunities. And that with that understanding, that is something that they truly did want to do.
Yeah, I think that they do develop some compassion.
So
just by being exposed.
They develop compassion over time.
Yeah, and then they're not tally me banana. It's not like, okay, here's a tally of all these wonderful things that I did. Give me an award for it, or some prize or something.
I think
special.
that's actually a good example for why to, even if you don't have the best intention, if it's for some goal, for example, which is, it's okay. Doing something good because of a goal you have in mind or some reward, maybe it's a parent rewarding you, or if it's a kid. But over time, they can develop an understanding and have genuine compassion. So if you don't have the genuine compassion right now, that's okay. Keep it up. If you believe it's in alignment with you, then keep it up and you'll develop an understanding of what is in alignment for you to develop good karma. So
is karma tallied in your life? Like, let's say you have some great intentions and then sometimes you don't. Does that take away anything good you may get because you had sort of a time where your intentions weren't honorable?
Well, that ties into another important point that I wanted to go over, which is the idea of variability.
Okay.
And the short answer, well, maybe I'll just give the kind of the whole answer for variability, because I think it will answer that. And it's the idea that over your lifetime, your karma will balance out really accurately. I kind of want to say it'll balance out exactly, but it'll balance out pretty close to it. It'll balance out really closely. But over single events, it's unlikely to balance out in a one-to-one. And so it can be discouraging sometimes in that sense. But just keep in mind, for single events, it doesn't balance out. But over your lifetime, it will. And what that means is that in single events, sometimes you're going to get back more, and sometimes you're going to get back less. But so just keep it up.
I'm sorry, you're saying that you will get back more than you feel that you put into it.
Some of the time.
Okay, so I did something nice. I helped somebody, but I don't know how the impact that it had. So it's the impact of what I did. Just don't be
discouraged when you don't get back what you feel like you deserve, because sometimes you'll get back more, and over your lifetime, it will balance out.
Well, we're in a world right now where everyone wants everything yesterday. Even with karma.
Well,
I've done all
it'll be getting into entitlement will be another episode. Attachment, actually. But entitlement could be another way of putting it. that would be another episode, but that would be yeah, that's another episode.
Do you think if somebody was just a happy person and they were around other people and they just sort of exuded their happiness and it affected the other people, that would be under the category of karma too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's the idea of exchange. It's the idea of, I've heard some people call it the giving and receiving.
Okay.
I like to call it exchange just because it's kind of one word summed up. And it's the idea that there's multiple components to it. One is that karma isn't the idea, I believe there's a little misconception some people have. It's not quite the idea of your suffering now will result in your happiness later. Instead, it's the idea of you giving or creating happiness in other people's life will give you the opportunity to receive happiness in your life.
I didn't even consider that you have to receive it.
Yeah,
so the karma that you get back,
yeah, it's
you
kind of
actually
multiple things going on there.
Okay. That is so new to me. I didn't even think about that.
Pointing, thank you for taking an interest in. I'm trying to practice my own words for what I'm about to say here. I suppose I'm not. Maybe it's not the best example. Some examples of this would be when someone gives you compliments or gifts. There's a commonality people have is to downplay the importance of them, and that this actually downplays the significance. It's in a way, it's rejecting the person's compliment. And I would say to not be the bottleneck in karma and rather accept what others give you to allow the flow of giving and receiving, because karma is the idea of a flow. And if you want to receive, if you want, for example, if you want wealth, help others to become wealthy. If you want respect, help others to become respected. If you care about your self-image, your status, help others to achieve that. Help others achieve what you want. It's the idea of exchange. So, and I would say that kind of covers all.
But when you do that, you have to have the good intention behind it. And the only reason I say that is I've had friends that they definitely tally. Here, take this, do this. I'm doing I'm just a good person. I just really love to give. But they're tallying it, and it doesn't even matter if the person wants it. They still will put it in their tally, and they expect that to get something good in return from that person. So I hear you saying all sorts of things. You're not necessarily going to get it back from that person. This exchange, it could be from someone completely different, but it's just something that you're
over your lifetime. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
I think most people are raised in a way that kind of facilitates, telling me banana behavior. Yeah. Just how their parents, almost necessarily in many cases, if the parents don't feel I don't have time to deal with this, I'm just gonna, reward punishment behavior, and it kind of leads to telling me banana behavior. And so most people are raised that way. And so just try to be genuine, try to be authentic. It can take time, but your intention that you put into something, as it changes over time, your karma changes also. And it's all a circle. It's all a flow. Don't go against the flow of the river, because you can't beat it.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
And you don't necessarily even have to put in the effort to go with it.
I'm sorry. When you say flow, it means you don't want to bottleneck it. And that's what you meant by bottlenecking, by stopping the karma, by not receiving something, by not just continuing the constant flow of good, sending out good, receiving good.
Yeah. Let the good karma flow, and don't be the bottleneck. It's sort of the idea of don't try to put out the behavior that you don't want, because you'll get that back.
Okay.
That's what will come back to you. Put out the behavior. I like to just summarize it as put out what you want.
Yes.
Help others get what you want in your life.
Right.
If you're unhappy, help others to be happy. If you want wealth, help others to become wealthy. If you want success, help others to become successful. Okay,
Nick, I want to thank you. You've really enlightened me.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I'm happy to hear that.
Just wanted to have you accept that compliment.
I like to hear that.
Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed the show and that maybe, you learned something. And until next time, bye, everyone.